Hey guys, we have the Wise Woof again because he's gotten great reviews and also because he does not leave me alone. And he is my white shadow. So today we're going to talk about internal and external validation. And in the words of the wise Pauly D from the Jersey Shore, you do you, I'll do me. And that just proves to you that you can find wisdom just about anywhere. So I find a lot of people are seeking external validation for their choices, for their actions. And when they don't get that approval, it ends up causing a lot of pain. It causes a lot of discord between them and family members. And just generally, makes them feel bad about their life choices. When really, you don't need any external validation for your choices. If you are comfortable with the decisions you've made, you don't need to seek approval for those decisions externally. Because that person who is making that judgment on your decision has a totally different paradigm of life, perhaps. And if they do, they're never going to meet that standard. You're never going to get their approval. And you're just going to a dry well, and you're comparing yourself to a standard that you don't hold yourself to. So one example of this in my life, when I chose to cohabitate with my boyfriend, I knew that I wanted to see how we lived together before we got married, and that was important to me, and I thought that was an important thing to do. Well, much of my family did not agree with that, and they would say all sorts of things about it, based in religious beliefs that I did not hold. And I just said to them, if you judge me by a standard that I don't believe in, I will never meet that, and we will never be able to come to an agreement. So I'm not going to judge myself by that standard. And if they are, that's fine. That's their choice. But that's not my standard. And I'm not going to feel bad about my decisions or, have some sort of animosity towards them because they have a different view of life. I'm just going to stand in my decision and stand in my belief. And I'm fine with that. And I'm not going to feel bad. I'm not going to feel guilty. I'm not going to get angry at them for not approving, because this is my life and I am the person in control of my life. So I think what happens a lot of times is if you're continually seeking this external validation, whether it's from society about the way you look, that happens a lot. Society tells you you have to be thin, or you have to be, looking this way, or, wear your hair a certain way and dress a certain way, or, you're not accepted. That is your decision, and if you are going to be influenced by how other people feel about you, you need to look within yourself and you need to say, hey, do I need external validation of my choices? Or am I going to be independently fine with these decisions that I make? And as soon as you become, seeking the internal validation instead of external validation, you have released yourself. You are free. You're no longer bound by all these external factors that you don't believe. So, I think it's really helpful also in family relationships because you can still respect somebody. You can still say, hey, that's fine if you believe that. I just don't hold myself to that belief. And you don't need to get upset about it. You don't need to make them believe what you believe. And you can just, live your life peacefully like that. You don't need to be seeking approval. And I see people sometimes, they get really angry about something someone else has done or said or decided to judge their life. And, as soon as you get angry, as soon as you have those visceral reactions, you need to look into that, because that means that you are not independently fine with your own actions, or you're seeking that person's approval. And that person is having this control over your life, even if it's just an emotional control. And you don't want to give that power away. You want to keep that power. You want to keep your own power to control your own emotions and not give that control to somebody else. There's this meme that I saw that said, every time we judge someone else, we reveal an unhealed part of ourselves. And I think that's very true. So, think about if you want to have a thing to sort of comfort you as you're going through this, if someone is judging your life, is judging something that you're doing, all that's saying is something about them, something that's not peaceful within them. And, it's just a learning experience, this life, right? So if they're making these judgments, it's probably because people have made judgments on them, and they have been held by external validation, and they are bogged down by external validation. So you don't need to be that. You don't need to be held down by external validation. You can find your own internal validation and not be tied to others' opinions of you and what you're doing. So I think if you try to practice this every day and not get upset, and if you do get upset about somebody's, judgment on your life, look into that emotion and say, hey, why am I getting upset about this? Why am I letting this person have this type of emotional control over me? Why do I care about that person's judgment of me? What is the reason behind that? And then when you look into that, you can then start to resolve, what potentially is unhealed in yourself as well. If you're unable to just believe in your own internal validation. Okay, so I hope that's helpful. Talk to you guys later.